100 miles of the Purolator 500 have been won. Ernie Irvan, twice a bridesmaid here. 12 times he's run. And for the first time, he tastes victory as he climbs out of the car. He can savor a spectacular victory here today. Jerry Punch is right there.
Ernie, congratulations on an outstanding team win for you, but those last few laps you held on a great effort.
Well, I tell you, we thought that the Hoosier cars were going to be tough, and they were, but I tell you, the Goodyear tire was still there at the end, and Larry did such a great job on this chassis, dialing it in for today, and, it all to this Texaco Haviland race team.
Early on, you had a miscue in the pits, but no one lost their composure. Everyone stayed calm. You came back in and got the lugs tight.
Yeah, they missed on a couple of them, but, we had a good enough lead that it didn't lose us a lot, and caution come back out, bunched us all back up, and, that's just all part of the big picture, just making it to the end.
Now, Larry said you were worried about the 17 car at the end, but here came the 21 with about 7 or 8 laps to go, and he was coming in a hurry.
I tell you, 21 really ran good. He hadn't really showed a lot of speed, as far as just getting going, but he sure looked tough there at the end.
As he gets his little daughter here, Jordan, up and wife Kim in, we were here in Victory. Let me ask you, a very emotional lap there at the very end, another tribute.
Well, I tell you, Larry said, he said, that's our first win here at Atlanta ever with this race team. He says, it's our first time ever to win 2 in a row. He said, I think that deserves a Polish victory lap. And I said, I can give you one. He said, make sure you do a good burnout on the start-finish line. And we did, and it means a lot. We said a lot about it. We've lost 2 of our greatest friends and 2 great champions. And, it's like this year, we hadn't really remembered them a lot. And, I know we don't want Polish victory laps every time, but, man, it was a big victory for this Texaco Haviland Ford race team.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
34-year-old Ernie Irvan gets his second win of 1994. He's in victory lane, and the man who almost made it to victory lane is standing by with Jack Baruch.
He doesn't look any worse for wear. Morgan Shepherd, you came close, but you really couldn't get up there and dice it out.
No, both the cars was pretty equal, and, if I could ever got to his deck lid, I could have made him loose, but I couldn't quite get there. We was just too equal. I made a few runs at him there, and I'd slip a little bit, and then I'd come back, but just couldn't quite make it. But, I just like to say that Goodyear did a great job with the tires. They built us a good, safe tire, and thank goodness for Goodyear.
Would things have been different if that last caution had not come out and everybody came in and got tires?
Would things have been different? Yeah, they probably would, because we'd been off on the chassis a little bit, and I was having to run high, and then finally I got to coming, but the way it looked, I was going to run the 8 car down, but that was about it.
Well, the man that passed the most cars all afternoon is standing by the gas pumps with our own John Kernan. John?
Well, Darrell Waltrip, the guys made a heck of a chassis adjustment. Barry Dodson and those guys about 35 laps into the race, and that fixed the car, because you guys looked to be out to lunch early on.
Well, we were, but what you really need to see was what they did this morning in the garage. We just totally threw everything out of the car and put it all back under there with some different stuff. And we just got it off a little bit. We just run them a few laps, adjusted on it, and it was great from there on. But everything went really good. The tires were fantastic. If I'd have just had my car a little bit better, I could have won this race. But I was afraid to mess with it. I needed a good run, and I didn't want to come in and do something to the car that would keep me from finishing up there in the first 2 or 3. So we just left it alone. It could have been better, and I'm just tickled to death. Western Auto people, I hope you're happy, because I am.
The Hoosier company has taken a lot of heat the first 3 races, but the guys who told me this was the first tire they'd been able to build after they actually got 3 tire tests in, and I guess they showed that they are going to be competitive this year.
Yeah, we were behind, we being Hoosier. We knew that. We went to Rockingham with a tire that was basically last year's tire. We went to Richmond with an all-new design, and now we come here, and Bob Newton told me, he said, if you're ever going to have a good weekend, DW, this is going to be it. I'm beginning to believe him, and I'm beginning to trust him. We had a great tire today, and that's what it's all about. Goodyear won the race, but still Hoosier had a great tire, and that's the way it's going to go all year long.
Well, Darrell Waltrip looks to be one of the guys to beat as the season progresses, as he's getting back up. Seed number one. Paul?
Boy, is that a happy man or what? Hoosier, too. They have to be happy. Came in here. It was so important for them to prove something here at Atlanta today. They certainly have done so, finishing in 3rd and 4th. Goodyear 1st and 2nd. There's more racing coming up a little bit later, and we've got a lot more here at the Atlanta Motor Speedway. We'll be back. There's more to talk about.
I'm complaining. I'm real happy with 4th as a rookie coming here, and I'm surely not going to complain with what we did today.
Not at all. Jeff Burton comes home with a solid fourth-place finish, the best of the year for Hoosier Tires, and this young man is on his way toward a great rookie run. Let's go to Jackaroo.
Well, fifth place belongs to the Valvoline Thunderbird from the Mark Martin stable. Mark, you really weren't in the hunt all day, but you had some of your own racing to do out there.
Well, we did. We had, you know, you just couldn't race with Ernie. I mean, he was checked out on everybody, but we were good enough to stay on the lead lap. But we pitted early once, and the caution came out and caught us and got us a lap down. We were real optimistically we could have raced for second, but you know, probably fifth where we wound up. So
this is where the 30 race series comes so heavily into play, though, because even though you may not be able to go for the win, you've got to keep thinking about those Winston Cup points.
Well, we raced real hard. We had a good car today. It handled good, and things went pretty well for us, but they could have gone just a little bit better. And you know, obviously we didn't do as good a job with our Valvoline Thunderbird as Ernie and Yates did with theirs.
Paul?
Yeah, but Mark Martin does stay in the points fight in third position. Ernie Irvan, of course, leads the points as they will leave here at Atlanta. There's still more to come. More racing in the IROC and more from Atlanta. Punch, Jack Arute, and John Kernan. Thanks so much for joining us. The IROC is next.
ABC Sports coverage of the Purolator 500 has been brought to you by your local Yamaha dealer, who invite you to see their exciting line of motorcycles, ATVs, and snowmobiles. And Speed Stick Deodorant and Speed Stick Antiperspirant, the #1 for movers and shakers. Coming up next on ABC Sports, it's on to the high banks of the Daytona International Speedway. 12 of the world's top drivers go head-to-head in identically prepared cars. It's the ultimate test of skill and the first challenge in the International Race of Champions. Coming up next. This has been a presentation of ABC Sports, recognized around the world as the leader in sports television.